the island of Sodor was hit with a heat wave. This made the steam engines thirstier than usual, and the water towers began drying out faster than they could be replenished. So the Fat Controller had water troughs installed on the main line for Gordon and Henry. The troughs were fed from nearby rivers, and the big engines could then fill up on water without stopping, using scoops built into their tendons. James thought they were silly.
I fancy a big blue engine like Gordon needing to drink from a trough like a pig on a farm. Honestly, I thought you were more dignified than that.
It's not about dignity, little James. It's about keeping to time and staying hydrated in this blasted heat. Besides, they've served engines well on the mainland. I've seen my fair share of them on my excursions to London.
But we're not on the mainland, are we, Gordon? I'd feel degraded if I had to lower myself to drinking off the ground. Anyone would think the Fat Controller wanted to fatten you up for the market.
Well, little James, if you don't like those water troughs, I can't help that. The Fat Controller put them in place for good reason, and that's all there is to it. James wasn't the only one who thought ill of the troughs. They seemed to be giving Gordon's crew a great deal of trouble. You're keeping an eye on the vents, right, fireman?
For the 100th time, yes. But you do realise that's not my only job. That is the fire's job.
Oh, not again.
Oh dear, I'm so sorry, everyone. Don't worry about it, Gordon. Not your fault.
Why do we even bother with these water doors?
For good reason, fireman. For good reason. Some days later, James was approaching one of the troughs.
Look at him, taking a drink off the ground like a farm animal. How pathetic. Gah!
Sorry, James. But the red engine didn't hear him. He thought Gordon had splashed him on purpose. It wasn't long, though, before Gordon found that he couldn't breathe properly. Oh, I don't feel good. So his driver stopped the train at the nearest station. Surely I didn't take on anything bad.
Wrong. It seems you've taken on some bad water from one of the troughs. Look at it, driver. It's filthy.
Contaminants from the river must have gotten into the trough. Bother those factories dumping their waste into the river like that. Upon hearing of Gordon's illness, the Fat Controller sent for another engine. James, on the other hand, was unaware of the incident.
You know, it's one thing for Gordon to drink off the ground like a cow, but he needn't take it a step further and splash me. Douglas, no!
Sorry about that. I think I took on some bad cola earlier.
Of course, you couldn't wait till later to sneeze your soot and ashes everywhere.
James went about his day, puffing harder than usual. So much so, in fact, that his driver and fireman found him hard to handle.
Whoa, steady, old boy. You're building up a lot of ash with all that hard puffing.
But that was exactly what James wanted. Eventually, he built up enough ash in his smoke box that he felt like sneezing. However, he waited till the next time he was at a water trough to do it.
Really? You had to sneeze into the troughs, James?
That'll teach Gordon to splash me with his groundwater.
He ran on to the next station, feeling very pleased with himself. That was, until he saw Henry clanking in.
Henry, are you alright?
I was. Until I had a drink from one of the water troughs.
No surprise there. The water in your tender's filthy. That trough must have been contaminated. Sorry, lad, but you can't go on.
Whoops.
Oh, I might have known you'd be at fault. What on earth were you thinking?
I am so sorry, Henry. I never meant to get you sick. It was Gordon I was trying to pay out for splashing me with his trough water. But why were you drinking from them? I thought they were meant for Gordon.
Well, there's no point in doing so now. Gordon's already out sick from some previously contaminated water. That's why I'm standing in for him. Or was. Oh, now what am I going to do?
Henry, I can take the express for you if you'd like.
You? But you've already strained yourself today. No mistake. Maybe Bear can take...
No, Henry, this is my fault, and I want to make it up to you. Besides, who needs groundwater to pull trains?
And so it was arranged. While Henry had his boiler cleaned out, James took the express the rest of the way. Or at least he intended to.
Oh boy, I could really use a drink about now.
Don't worry, James. You can have a nice long drink and a rest once we finish the job. It's not far now.
But after struggling on for a few miles, James couldn't help slowing down.
Uh-oh. You've completely run out of water. No wonder after all that soot you've built up. We better stop before your boiler explodes.
And they did too.
Oh, great.
James's fireman ran back to warn the signalman and telephone for help. Sorry I'm late, little James. It took them longer to finish cleaning out my boiler than I had hoped. Never mind. We'd best get the express on its way again.
I'm starting to see why you and Henry drink from those troughs. I only wish my tender could be fitted with one of those scoops.
Really? But aren't you worried about lowering yourself to the level of a farm animal?
I already feel like one.
Well, in any case, I didn't mean to splash you earlier, James. Just some issues with my tender vents, that's all. But fear not, the Fat Controller's heard about it, and he'll be changing the timetable so that this never happens again. So long as you don't sneeze into our water troughs again. James? James didn't reply. He was too busy cooling off in the rain.